What's up, Jump Rope Nation? Dave Hunt here with Crossrope, and today I'm going to try to give you some tips to help you avoid getting injuries. If you haven't had a chance yet, please check out the first link below for our Jump Rope fitness community with lots of great workouts, challenges, tips, and other jumpers just like you. And in this video, the jump rope that I'm going to be using is the half-pound energy rope. Comes from our plus set. You can check that out in the second link below. Okay, so jump rope injuries, it's not a glamorous topic, but it's one of the most important things that we can talk about. And I'll start out by giving the standard disclaimer. I am not a medical doctor, I'm not a physician, I'm not a physical therapist. So please, 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 if you have questions, always resort to them as the first resource. But I do want to give you some of what I've learned in my experience with jumping, teaching other people to jump, and getting feedback and trying to give positive workouts and training to the people within our community. And I think that these are some tips that you can add that will help you out and try to prevent injuries from occurring in the first place. So, what kind of injuries can you possibly get when you're jumping rope? Typical injuries are in the lower extremities. So ankles and knees, shin splints, those are some of the primary injuries that can occur. And there's a number of different things that you can do or precautions that you can take to help minimize the chance that any of these are going to happen. So I'm going to start out by running you through some quick stretching drills. And these should be a part of a broader overall warm-up that's intended to elevate your core temperature, because if you're warmer when you're jumping, your joints and your tendons are going to get lubricated and they're going to get stretched, and that's going to make it so that you're less likely to get soft tissue injuries that often occur when people try to go too hard, too fast. So we're going to start out with a simple calf stretch. And what you're going to do is get into a position where your legs are a little bit more than shoulder width apart. If you have a wall or something that you can push up against, you can lean into it. You're just going to have a little bit of knee flexion on the back knee and then do a light bouncing motion. Because you want to have a dynamic stretch before you jump rather than a static stretch, which just means holding it in place. Because the dynamic stretch is going to more accurately represent the way that the tendons and muscles are interacting when you're jumping. So nice and easy, nothing too forceful, and try to change the angle, and this will help to warm up and stretch both your calf muscles and your Achilles tendon. Now for your knees, if you want to do something simple like an air squat, keep your back straight, come down, hold it, come back up, just do a couple of these. Make sure that your knees are not going out in front of your toes, so you still want to have the proper mechanics, the proper squat form, and that's going to start to activate your quadriceps, your hamstrings, get the blood flowing in your legs and in your joints. And after doing that for about probably 2 or 3 minutes, in tandem with any other sort of a movement. So if you're doing some arm stretches, if you want to do a light jog beforehand, something just nice and easy to get the blood flowing, elevate your heart rate, and warm up your body. Now, once you've done that, when you start off with your jumping, start off with a lower impact skill like the basic jump. If you get a real short warm-up and you go straight into a high-impact jumping skill like double unders or something where you're lifting your feet really high off the ground and impacting, it's going to adversely affect your joints because they're not prepared for that impact yet. They're still not going to be warm enough. So after you started out with some light bounding, your joints are feeling warmer, it's going to be much easier for you to transition into higher impact jumping if that's part of your workout. So alternate foot step, anything that's a higher bound like a double under, those are going to be much more friendly on your joints just because of the fact that they're already warmed up from the lower impact jumping. Now I want to clear up some misconceptions about jump rope injuries. One of them is that jumping rope is just a high impact activity and that if you do it, you're exposing yourself to greater risk of injury. Well, with a low bound where your body weight is evenly distributed between both of your feet, the impact is actually lower than running or jogging. So the chances of a stress-related injury or an ankle or a joint injury from running or jogging can actually be greater than it is from jumping rope, provided that you're using the proper technique. So always put technique as your top priority, have a nice easy bound, and that's going to help you to avoid those impact-related injuries. Now, the other thing is the classic listen to your body, because a lot of beginners will make the mistake of jumping and having far too much volume at the outset, and their body is not adapted and is not accustomed to the repetition. And so what happens is they jump more than they should be at the outset, and that can lead to overuse type injuries. So it really is very much dependent on the individual in terms of what the volume is. But when you're first starting, it's okay to just do 5 or 10 minutes of jumping until you see whether or not there's any sort of recurring pain that happens from more jumping. There's also some things that you can do to help really set yourself up for success in preventing any sort of impact or high volume training. Now you can see you can jump rope anywhere. It's a great portable training tool. If you are concerned about the high volume and the impact, it is more advantageous to jump on a softer surface. So this is concrete. It's fine to jump on concrete if you're more experienced, if you know that your body can handle it. If you're a beginner, try to either use a rubber mat or a rubber surface or some sort of an indoor softer surface that's going to have a little bit more give and a little bit more cushion to it. Because asphalt, concrete, and other hard surfaces are going to be higher impact and could increase the likelihood that it wears down your body and your joints a little bit faster. Additionally, make sure that you're wearing proper footwear. So I know that some athletes, they jump in bare feet. Usually it's on indoor surfaces. I would not advise jumping in bare feet, and I recommend having footwear that has at least some cushioning throughout the entire sole. That cushioning is really going to help to make sure that it's reducing the impact on your joints when you're jumping, just like when you're doing any other activity like running or playing sports. So, just to recap, set yourself up for success by staying within your bounds for the volume of jumping that you're doing, especially when you're beginning. Wear proper footwear, test out different surfaces, but try to use a rubber surface or a mat or something softer at first if you're not quite sure how your body is going to react to that. Make sure that you get a proper warm-up, that you've elevated your body's core temperature, that you've stretched your calf, your Achilles, your quads, and worked on a little bit of knee mobility, and then focus on technique as your priority. If you follow these steps, I can assure you that you're going to have more consistent, successful jump rope workouts that remove the frustration of those nagging injuries and are going to enable you to improve and hit your fitness goals in no time. So please share this with anybody that you think it might be helpful for. Again, if you haven't joined our community, please check out the first link below, and I look forward to your questions and your feedback.